You keep on doing it. You stay resilient. So it's beautiful because this baby, these vibrations you're creating and documenting the divinity of our visions and dreams, and to where everybody got to step it up as long as we step it up. That's it. As long as we focus on us. Yo, you keep coming out, dreamer. Remember I told you I'm airy and groundy?
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 air cards. Some stocks, Rasta. This one creates a white umbrella of light. Mm-hmm. He inspired not only to dance, but he inspired me to create dope content.
That's awesome.
Yeah, bro. Like, his dancing was just funny as hell.
I mean, it makes sense for the projection of your algorithm. It's corny. You love corny.
Bro, I'm very corny. Niggas be like, that's corny. I'm like, I know. I'm glad you can see it. I'm glad you can see it, because I can. Water. So far, beginning, believing, protected. So I realized protection. Those that need protection, that's what the white lady, she was talking about protection. I'm like, I'm protected. Like, we covered. So.
Well, because the thing about protection, right, is like protection implies that there's a certain level of victimhood.
Yes, I heard it. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I'm not going to knock you needing protection, but I will double down on my grounding. Mm-hmm. I'll add some padding. Mm-hmm. I call them landmines. We'll add some more energy field that are conducive, that's in harmony with me. These are the things. It's your choice to get off of your harmonious square. Mm-hmm. Homie said, I ain't got no choice but to go to what he's doing tonight. Jay. And I was like, bruh, I'm thinking to myself, you only got the choice. Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking too. Like, you're the only one with the choice.
But, you know, it's like watching the movie just now with the Wu-Tang. Mm-hmm. And that's the same energy of the mom that she gave to Cherie.
Mm-hmm. You ain't got no choice in this manner. She was like, I only got a choice.
Right. And it was the same vibration of like, you don't know what it's like to have kids and be in a situation. Like, that's the vibe and energy.
Right. No, the domestication system has set it up that people really need and desire having to earn their income a certain way.
No, it's taking advantage of the innate desire to find a sense of inner stability by creating systems that force people to be put into a blueprint of what has been mandated as state-sponsored stability. State or privately owned stability. What? Was it those two that guided you to feel like those two vibrations that you watched today that kind of guided you towards that download of like staying harmonious? Like you can choose to be harmonious?
So it was like I got to listen to Naisha today.
Yeah, you said that was a 369.
Yeah, it was definitely 369. That lady was just trauma bonding at her highest level of reverence, which cool. Like I got to see it in all aspects, and the reason I got to see it in all aspects, I just kept it on my square. I reminded myself why I was here. Being when I get to communicating with people, it's because of everything that we've taken in throughout the day. Everything, all of the energies, all of the sounds, the smells, like I am a fool. They call it the dreamer card, right? But this is also the fool card, but they call it the dreamer. And I know what we're starting is something new. It's been done in other genres, but we're fully integrating it into this now time. That's why I listen to myself for my live video. I got a group that's been stuck at 990. We're seeing common people around the world. 990 for like 2 years. It's just been 990 members. My Facebook group. I created this Facebook group when I first started going through my mental health journey. It was like my support group of digital people that are joining the 99-day program. Like, that's why I remember that Facebook is like a billboard, and then getting them to go to a group is like they're choosing to come over here.
Right, they're coming into a designated space that they've consented to desiring to be in, and so they're within the energetic realm of what that intention is. So they engage with that intention, and it pulls back and forth into their consciousness. They're engaging with all the consciousness of the beings there, and they're all adding their vibrational aspect to the specific intention.
And I was pulling people or recruiting people from other groups.
Yeah.
And by doing these, I would jump on and I would do lives, and I would, what up, PhD? I would do card readings, 3-hour card readings. The football game is 3 hours. I would be on live for 3 hours. That's a lot of energy exchange. And I wasn't just doing card readings, I'm doing energetic readings. So those that we listened to earlier, I was pulling energy. I just need high level energy. I just need higher level of consciousness. That's it. And when I can, because I'm a generator, I can generate energy and give it, and I can see generated energy and I can attract it. I can allow it. I brought that lady up because she said once you do all this high level energy, if you don't ground yourself, you'll be up here out of your body, and your body has to get filled in, so it gets filled in with the stuff that you're like normal to.
Well, and that, that makes me think about when you were talking about when you had your mental health break, right? It's like the reason why that happened is because you ingested a shit ton of information in a very short amount of time relative to the amount of information that you downloaded, and so your bodies, it's like they kind of split. You were existing in the bodies more so than in the body.
I was in the bodies all day.
Yeah, and because full integration is the Father, Mother, Holy Spirit, right? It's like it's the mind, the body, and the spirit. The body is as much spirit as the spirit is spirit, and so being in harmony with our bodies, it's like the machine. It's like how you can oil a machine, take care of a machine. It allows for the fluidity of all of the bodies to be able to engage, because the body is the last manifestation. But if the body is the final manifestation of the spiritual bodies, then that means that it's the physical representation of the health of the spiritual bodies, all fully integrating into one, if that makes sense. Just like how we project our realities. we project ourselves to have, that's why with the DNA activation, it goes in talking about how it's like youthful, it like makes you youthful, it gives you more life force to activate the DNA, is because you're connecting more of your spirit to your body, and your body is projecting that relationship. It's becoming healthier, it's becoming more fluid, it's becoming more like a well-oiled machine. So how we take care of our bodies, well, if one completely neglects the bodies, then you're just taking care of a machine with no signal coming out of it. You're just taking care of something that is meant to have a much higher capacity of expression. But the fluidity of it all, that's something I've been thinking about. What are you laughing at?
Your expression.
Why?
Because you're tired and you're trying to express high level stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
And it's funny. You asked me what I was laughing at. I gave you an answer. And I share that because I get what you're saying. What sparked it is taking in high level information while being the dreamer. We took in high level, and we constantly take in high level.
Right.
Being able to ground into the mission of journaling. Journaling helps you ground.
Right, because that creates an explosion in your life. Like the ingestion of all of that information at once.
It creates an explosion in the bodies, or it creates an effect, a reaction, an effect, cause and effect.
Mm-hmm. It
ripples. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Every time, and that's just not just, these are considered high level information. So everything, divinity magic is what that guy did. His dancing, drum sound, any creative things, or if you don't need to use physicalities, creates divinity. Cards is looked at as shadow magic. It's physical. It's anything on earth. So playing cards is just like grounding. Because you're using cards that have they're physically the touch. You also can see them. They get to paint pictures in your heads. So I do card readings, or I watch videos to ground my consciousness into my now moment, like what I'm learning about time being quantum and multi-dimensional versus linear. Every time I do card readings, they kind of like pull all of the energies in. Like, I didn't journal that I was going to do a card reading, but I did know that I wanted my book bag. And because I wanted my book bag, when I got enough space to know why I wanted my book bag, then I'll use it. Going into the second card, the two of air, where it says indecision, avoidance, and confusion. Like, what I love about these cards, right? Air represents intellect. The dreamer was a major arcana. What I love about these cards is they give you, the artwork is phenomenal. It's the little things, but they also give you the 3 words that you can choose. And with cards, they tell a story. And as an MC, 3 words, incantation 3 times. If 3 makes a triangle, it's like harmonic. So it says in the beginning, believing, protected. Then it says in indecision, avoidance, and confusion. As you travel and you get all of this knowledge, or you wake up every day and you go after your dream, or if you go after your corniness, as you said, like I'm super corny. And that's why, like, I want to leave something for my corny children that are way cooler than I am, but like they got the corniness in them. I'm constantly set with decisions and choices. We were talking about choices, and one of the first things on your journey is you make a choice. I made a choice to know that I was going to do a live. I made a choice. I made a choice that I was going to pull these cards out, and in pulling these cards out, it triggers the baby. It triggers you. You do a download, and I love when you download. Like, I don't download for people to get what I'm saying. And this is why I laughed at you, because you're like, you get it? I'm like, If you get it, if you get it, that's all that matters. If you get it, does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I said I get it.
Yeah, and when you check for outwards representation, whether or not we get it, because we didn't do what we about to do. We didn't say this was going to be a certain whatever. I'm channeling from picking out the cards to uh, sharing a video with you about the guy dancing, because it's one stream of moments from when I woke up to when I took my meditations to when you came back and was like, yeah, I went on the grocery run and I made some dope ass food. So I was like, all right, about to watch Naisha. To right into the point of watching Naisha. To after then jumped into Wu Tang after we finished The Godfather of Harlem. And me bringing it full circle about the Harlem Festival of 1969 that we started last night, right after we finished The Godfather of Harlem. I talk this way because my, just like these cards, I'm pushing them together and reading them. My consciousness is that way. So like I do jump around in a lot of time in my meta devices, social media. I got this daily reading device. E is reading the vision board daily, the vision magazine daily.
Because time is relative. So thinking that we're supposed to think in a linear fashion anyway. Being able to allow the mind to move through time as a fluid substance. That's when we were at the Science Museum. The theory of relativity basically explains that time is not a linear concept. It's actually something that we move through, just like we move through the air.
Mm-hmm.
So as we continue to open up our consciousness to the realized embodiment of the inner God, the inner embodiment of all that is, we're just moving through a bunch of different timelines, different moments that have occurred, and us being able to be open to feeling them and receiving them is what gives us the opportunity to hear what the next most divine inspired action is. And being on mission, setting your intent, having an intent to always having it be guided towards mission, the divine guidance that you get from when you allow yourself to listen and to open up yourself to all the different timelines that exist around you, within you. You get the steps that are necessary to get you to the next part of your mission, and it's not necessarily, sometimes it can be within certain definitions that are created by the program. It doesn't really matter, because ultimately your bodies are listening to what it is that you need and what it is that you're magnetizing towards your experience, because your entire experience is based on what you assume to be true. And when you assume that everything that you're doing is done for the mission, it will be so. Because it is.
And that's why that's one of the reasons why we did the 27-day program or the 33-day program. We time jumped together with groups of individuals that all were going through walking out of the matrix, that all were infants and coming into their indigenousness, their higher self, their consciousness. And a lot of them were attracted to these cards. A lot of them are attracted to our dancing, our toning, our sounds. That's when we first started doing the yams, and this is the thing. We would watch we would do group video sessions similar to what we told you that we wanted to do with the 99ers and the 99 moments. We were creating moments where we all were in a time together, and in that time together, closing to improve responsiveness for the Mac. Oh man, it's I told you we're pulling the times together. I can think about those moments, and I'm pulling it. While you were talking, I'm looking at this reading, and I get to go wherever I want to go. I get to go wherever I want to go, and in looking at these cards, I told you they tell a story. Um, Going from the two of air and being indecisive, avoidance and confusion. I made the choice to go to the Eight of Cups, which is representing water, searching, empowerment, fulfillment, following this path. Walking, bruh, it's my grandma is someone that has. I watched her do card readings, and she was my inspiration to wanting to learn more about cards. I'm learning every day about these cards, and paying attention to the guidance of the Christ consciousness, the ancestors, the ascended masters, those that came before us, and integrating that within our own willpower to make our own corny choices. Like it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Like I'm watching. I told you I was talking about the young man be loved. It's not just him that's like benefiting from my network. I realized like coming out with 369 Consulting, partnering with Reimagining Solidarity, having a full year devoted towards that again. And I say again because I used to consult and do that back in the day when I watched that video. Um, Doing it now with the guidance of the ancestors that we're rocking with, it's going to be awesome. Because in 2018, I really wasn't rocking with my grandpa peoples, which means I really wasn't rocking with my Nigerian.
Well, and I see also the split between businesses, Mindset Detox TV, and 369 Consulting. It's like you like the program makes sense to be a part of the consulting business, and the Mindset Detox TV, like that's a broadcasting station, and having those two be interconnected but having different intents with them, like it gives more space for them to develop individually.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a dope slew of empowering the divine frequencies that's on the way, and going straight into the six of air, right? From the emotions back to the mind, from the third eye to the mind, to the emotions back to the mind, right? Like it's relief, hope, moving on. I enjoy watching my thoughts fly by.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful. That's line. I love watching my thoughts fly by.
Yeah, man. I don't have to accept the flyby because they're flying by. Like I can observe it and be like, okay, yep, great job, by the way.
Right. I was thinking about that today because I was walking by a fence and like there's a bunch of there's information that you get from the world around you. You can how much you pay attention to. If you are aligned with your own mission and vision, that's what's going to pop up the most, and you'll see stuff from other frequencies if you allow yourself to be open and you can look at something, and how you respond to that determines how much quantum entanglement you have with the concept. So if you see, for example, like you're walking down the street and you see something that is totally superfluous and it distracts you from focusing on what you were doing at that moment in time, you can either put all of that weight onto that, or you can look at it and just keep moving. It's how much energy you give something. It's how much you quantumly entangle with it.
Absolutely, how much you exchange.
Right.
Like how you talked about those keys, and you was like, I got the keys because you pointed the keys out to somebody, and it was like, it's not my keys. And then somebody brought the keys to you, and it was like, they're not my keys, but you noticed that they were purple and gold. And we've been rocking with Jerry Buss and the Los Angeles Lakers. Big up the Kobe as well. Like they're a dope ass duo, right? And in that, right after we had our conversation, I saw a video meme to where this lady in purple and gold was a world star video, and they were fighting, and she got punched down some bleachers, and she fell in slow motion. And she had, it was purple and gold though, so it was like, oh, I'm falling. Kobe falling back, the fadeaway, and then I shared it falling in the fadeaway because right before we did this reading, LeBron James, it was an ad for him shooting up and falling and hitting the shot. So it's like, yeah, you could get distracted, or you can know how to add it into where it makes sense in your world.
Because everything, because it all belongs, right? Like today, uh, every, as long as you trust yourself, just as long as you trust yourself and the divine flow of your movements, all is aligned exactly as it needs to be. Today I had 2 pieces of pizza and 2 small bowls of cereal. And both of the times that I had those 2 pieces of pizza and those 2 small bowls of cereal, I was like, it would have made sense for me to just have eaten them one by one, or like gotten it all together at once, right? But every string of those events, every stop that I made on the walk to like I picked up this huge stick, right? And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is a fucking amazing stick. I love this stick. It was like this long, beautiful, super shiny. I was like waving that shit around, and I put it down. And I sat down on the bench and was on social media for a little bit, and then I would stop and like walk backwards to this tree and like put my head up right up to my third eye and touch the tree to my third eye. Just doing like, I mean, it looks like dumb shit, but it is dumb
everything,
shit.
everywhere, all at once.
And I tell you, every single one of those delays added up to the multiplicity of when I stopped by the fridge and they had just pulled up and filled it up with food.
Everything belongs.
Everything belongs.
And that's even with the whole relief and the hope and moving on. Like moving on from how things was and how we were in confusion because we were living someone else's. You live how you want.
Right. And the thing is that because we're transmuting, like the fact that we're living someone else's is part of it all belongs. Because that's the healing process. The healing process is absolutely a part of it.
I saw something this morning where it was saying that when we heal, we are healing our family's wounds. Like that's even what I was saying with. I know why I have an idea or a theory why words. I have a theory why people treat my vibration when a certain way when they dealt with any type of abuse, physical, sexual, mental, emotional, verbal. Being able to release those straws, as you say, to those thoughts or those ideas that are coming by. It provides a lot of relief. And going into the Queen of Earth, right? Heart space. Look at this bag, bro. Look at that bag.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, Queen of Earth is pretty lit.
Gracious, practical, and capable.
Gracious, practical.
She got a crown coming from her heart.
Heart space. Yes. Like royalty. Super royalty. And then with the gold halo, black dress, and Earth represents ground, or Earth represents Earth. It represents the body. That's what I meant to say. It represents the body, the physicality. And it representing the physicality, being grateful for what we have. It allows and makes space for those things that we desire to take care of, those things that we desire to give our attention, and like having you doing when you're walking backwards and all of that, right? And going to the tree, you're preparing to spend time with Imani. Like these are things that you do with children. Like having children, you can watch more cartoons, you can eat way more ice cream, you could be a fucking kid and you got children. And like, you can be a kid in society and get judgments and criticisms thrown your way when you do kid like or irresponsible things when you reach a certain age. I'm grateful for the practicality of partnering with the Speak Freely Media to see that no matter how irresponsible I am, I still I'm responsible to the mission. Like, no one can tell me I'm not doing my mission. I'm doing the mission at the top of my capabilities, and I use every moment to do it. Like how you just said, everything mattered from picking up the stick. I've been intentionally for the past 4 or 5, no, 2018, maybe 6 years, intentionally doing things with my body, from going to the James River to picking up rocks to going and talking to people, certain messages, this, that, and the third. So, like, I post so many stories. Gary Vee said you should be posting 27 stories a day if you're a business. And this was a year or two ago, maybe 3. And I say 27 because people are just, they're scrolling. They're scrolling. You're being relevant in that verse or that world that it's like a beacon. It's a broadcasting station. Mindset Detox TV has figured out a way to broadcast from my channels. These are all my channels. And one of the dope things, people like 19 Keys and Black World, Wall Street, and Phase One, Bursa Brotherhood, the Universal Souls, the Community 50/50, the Melodic Family. Like, the thing about these organizations, the Dirty Art Club, Highway, the things about these, you know how many organizations we connected to? Yo, a great amount. Those that really operate with family, because just like Lilo and Stitch said, Ohana means we never leave family behind. And it goes into family, love, and blessing, which is the Ten of Water. So we got 2 air cards, 1 major arcana that represents the third eye, and then 1 earth card and 2 waters, the 8 of water and the 10 of water. I enjoy these cards when it has the rainbow, bunch of cards, and look what it got. You see the family. I'm all about family and covering the family. My mission is about covering the family. I figured out how to cover my family, and I do it this way. Like, I'm broadcasting to LinkedIn. Somebody had the nerve to come on my LinkedIn and said, "You're on the wrong station for your post." Nigga, this is my channel. I post whatever. He said that on LinkedIn. He's like, niggas on LinkedIn think it's not supposed to act like Facebook. Nigga, it's just a social place where you could post shit. When you post shit, you grab attention. Energy flows where your attention goes. That's why you giving your attention to that stick. You giving your attention to the tree. You giving your attention to all of it. All of it.
There's none of it. I mean, ultimately, right? It's like, as I was taking my walk today, just remembering a lot of the magic, and I started to feel, walking out into the marketplace, you feel the energy of what's going on out in the marketplace. You feel the cognitive dissonance that exists with the collective consciousness right now. And as I was calibrating it, doing some infinity breaths and breathing, I was looking down at the ground and just, like, I could feel the shift in my vibration because I was looking at the ground and I was looking at the grass and I was like, there's so much grass. It's so beautiful.
There's so much grass.
It's so green. It's so abundant. Wow. And then as I had that thought, I was like, everything is me. Everything is me. This is me. This is me. This is me. The air is me. Everything is me. And how do I want to develop a relationship with me? And ultimately, it always comes back to self-love and being honest with oneself. It's like, yeah, I want to be my best friend. I I want to be able to look at myself and be like, yo, bro, like, what's up? And that goes to, you know, what we would call a piece of trash on the ground, or another person, or the way that we engage with the trees or the sky. And like, that doesn't mean it's sunshine and rainbows all the time. Like, a real friend's gonna tell you if you're doing some shit.
I'm gonna keep it real.
But that's, you know, like, having a harmonious relationship with yourself is very possible. Because harmonious doesn't mean you're in harmony all the time. It means that you're able to see and observe and witness, just like you were talking about the thought. You can attach to them, you just observe them, and you choose which ones to enter into.
We get millions of thoughts that can come by based off of the things that we allow stimulating us. And when you program, that's why having rituals and having support groups and having book clubs and being part of it, you get to program your cells, the memories, you get to program your bodies, you get to program your thoughts. When you have a certain programming, like Nipsey been going in, bro. Me and B-Love is together because B-Love had more of a relationship than Nipsey than I did. He listened to a lot of his shit before I did. I told you, Gary V. No, that's how I saw Nipsey first, is through Gary V, which is so interesting. But it's dope because of where we're coming from. We spent a lot of time programming our thoughts and programming our bodies. So yes, that's why when people come into our world and they be like, why is my world changing? Because it's not really yours. You're in my world. And then like our bubbles, remember how we talked about in the beginning? Once people clear out enough space, they can be in their own bubble and not other people's bubbles. And then they can reflect more of a clear vision of them in their world. Once you started talking about this is you, my foot started itching. Like,
I'm just calling in the all consciousness itself.
Yeah.
Quantumly entangling.
Quantumly entangling with my Earth Star chakra. Stake that in the ground. Listen, y'all enjoy this. Y'all want a reading? Definitely hit us up. Also, we appreciate all of the donations that have been. We've launched 2 GoFundMes. One of the GoFundMes is for our immediate assistance. The other GoFundMe is to. They're both for immediate assistance, but the other one is for it's a bigger goal or aim to cover the next few months with establishing foundations for our dojo and foundations for our Balbe and current projects that we're going to be releasing this spring. So like we lit, super lit. And 99 as we out here. Y'all stay blessed and highly favored.